Foreign ministers from the European Union have reached an agreement to impose sanctions on some violent Israeli settlers. The sanctions package had been stalled for months despite a spate of attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. The sanctions had been constantly vetoed by former Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, but his defeat at the hands of Peter Magyar last month paved the way for the EU to impose penalties on a few violent Israeli settlers and some settler organizations.
But we have also seen the surge of settler violence in West Bank. Today, we reached a political agreement to sanction Israeli extremist settlers and entities. This goes together with new sanctions on leading Hamas figures. This means that we move from the political deadlock that was there for a long time. Violence and extremism carry consequences.
The new sanctions come on the heels of an incident that took place in the West Bank village of Al-Asasa. A Palestinian man named Hussein Asasa died at the age of 80. He was buried at the village cemetery. But then Israeli settlers from a nearby illegal settlement forced the man's family to exhume the body.
When we reached inside the cemetery, we found that they have dug out the grave and reached the body. We tried everything we could with no luck. We reached a dead end. They told my brother and the others that only 10 people were allowed to go inside. So we got in and continued digging. We carried on from where they had already started digging, finished taking my father's body out and reburied him in another cemetery.
The incident in Al-Asasa village was perpetrated by settlers from Sanur. This illegal settlement had been vacated in 2005 as part of the then government's disengagement policy. But the settlement was recently re-established under the current government under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This coincides with the rise in settler violence in the occupied West Bank. The EU has imposed its new sanctions package in response to the rise in settler violence. The targets of the sanctions have not been made public yet, but reports say 3 settlers and 4 settler organizations have been sanctioned.